As your day been, boss?
Oh, it's been good enough. I was training this morning, and then I was doing housework. Like I bought a new house in January there, and it's like we're renovating it from the ground up. So I was just laboring most of the day, but
Oh
it was
yeah.
in the sun, which was yeah.
What you been doing to it? Like,
Well, basically, like it's actually there's pretty much nothing left in it. It's like all the floors been taken off, all the plaster on the walls are all gone. Taken like now, I was took a couple of walls down there today, and I actually want to just get stuck in it like full time, but I can't. There's just not enough time today. I can only get there at the weekends
pretty big
because
renovation
that's
then. Like,
pretty much. But okay, that's all I wanted to do. Uh, and then whenever that's all, it's just yours. Every part of that house is yours. So, and you're learning those as well. Like I didn't have a clue about plumbing or anything, but like you kind of like when you're getting plumbers and stuff, like they're talking and you're like managing it all. So you're like picking things up. So hopefully, like in a 5-10 years time, I'll do it with more houses and
yeah.
maybe start like making some.
Do you have any sort of experience in that then, like construction or?
No, I've been civil engine. Like I don't do so. I don't do any construction or anything like.
Yeah, I'm an apprentice Sparky, me mate. That's why I'm asking.
You're an apprentice Sparky, are you?
Yeah, yeah.
Fucking hell! I honestly wish that I'd like done a trade because like I don't fuck all with my degree. Well, I got a good job with my degree, but still, like I would rather like any of the plumbers or sparks I've spoken to, they're all like earning so like the money is really good, especially now. It's
Yeah,
actually a nightmare to get any tradesman in.
yeah.
Joiners, you name it, that's like 3 months. So I'm like, are they like just like working flat out and charging all these extortionate rates because they're in high demand? That'll be you. Like, what year are you doing? Like, is this your
I'm
first
in,
year or second?
I'm in my second year now, mate. So hopefully on the big bucks soon. Like,
Happy. Well, this is it. You're essentially studying at the moment, learning, but you're getting paid. Like I know it's probably like a shit wage, but like still at least you're getting paid. Whereas most people who go to uni or like stay in school, they don't get paid, and then
yeah,
they struggle to get a job after that. So I honestly like see if I had a son, or a daughter, I'd be like, get a trade, definitely 100%.
yeah.
Sorry, I made the right decision.
No,
So how
yeah. I was.
do you do interviews on the side?
You what, sorry, mate?
You do MMA interviews on the side then? What's the crack with that?
Yeah, just a hobby. I like chatting to you guys.
Okay, fair enough. Do you train MMA yourself?
You what, sorry, mate?
Do you train MMA yourself?
I do a little bit of jujitsu, but no MMA. Like,
That's mad. Man, I'd never thought about it. Because I've actually spoken to a couple of guys who are like that. You know John Sloan from Scotland?
who, sorry?
Never heard of John Sloan?
I don't think so, mate. No, sorry.
He's John, a guy quite interviewing fighters as well. But he
Sorry,
doesn't
sir.
want it to be his job. He's really good. Like,
Sorry, sir.
am
A
I
little bit of a
breaking up?
bad.
Am I?
Yeah, a little bit. You just keep breaking up a little bit. That's all. But you're not too bad. What are you saying about some Scottish lad or something? Sorry.
You were just saying you just like interviewing the fighters, and I
Yeah,
said that like really like a guy called John Sloan,
yeah,
and he's a young Scottish fella, and like he has a normal job, and then on the side he just interviews fighters,
yeah,
but he's actually really good at it, and he's really knowledgeable about the sport, but he doesn't want to do that as a job, just enjoys those
yeah.
interviews.
No, I hope I'm as good as him. Like, I'll check him out afterwards.
Okay.
Anyway, mate. Actually, getting on to the fighting now. Uh, the Kieran Lister fight. Were you expecting to get the title shot after that?
No, not really. Well, I actually I don't know because before I was interviewed and I had said that if I go out and I squeeze a decision over Kieran Lister, then I don't deserve to get a title shot. And it wasn't really in my mind. But I was like, if I go out and I absolutely starch him, then maybe I am the next in line. But there a lot of things had to happen. Like, like there Paddy Pimblett was there. So I didn't know he was probably going to be the next in line, but the UFC called him in. So like kind of loads of moving parts, and they've all kind of moved in the right direction for me. For me, loads of people were saying about getting the shot or Des maybe the rematch, but I was actually offered the Aggie Sadari fight way back for the March show, but I had to turn it down because, as I said to you before the interview there, like I just bought a house and I had to do a load of work to it, and I just knew that I wasn't going to be able to commit to a camp, and work was quite busy as well. So
I was gonna say you've known about this one for a while, haven't you? Like in your previous interviews, you said like you've had a decent fight camp for this one.
Yeah, a lot. Like I knew like 6 weeks ago. No, maybe like I would say 8 weeks ago. I had known about this fight about between 6 and 8 weeks ago. Yeah, so I've had plenty of time to prepare. It's actually the most time I've ever had to prepare for a single fighter. Normally, I find who my opponent is anywhere between 4 to 3 days from the fight. So it's always good to know who your opponent is well in advance. And also whenever you're told, say someone says to me, right, Joe, you're fighting in June, and it's like April now. Camp really doesn't start until May. So if you have 2 months, so May and then June.
Yeah.
So you kind of like you're training, but you're not really like you're not like 100% in. But see, whenever you have your opponent, the camp starts there and then. So like instead of me just dilly-dallying about for 4 weeks and then starting an 8-week camp, I was 12 weeks out training like as I was in camp. So now I'm just kind of I'm fitter, faster, stronger than I've ever been before. I'm way lighter than what I normally am at this stage of camp, and all things are trending towards me peaking on at the right time. Like every week I still feel like I'm getting better, fitter, everything. So yeah, it's like I've made use of those extra weeks anyway.
Yeah, and this opponent's sort of been in the back of your mind for a while. Then, if you were sort of expecting this fight to come up, I know you said it didn't get made for the March one, but like I said, you knew it was going to happen like sooner rather than later.
Yeah, like I mean, he has been on my mind. Not really, like because I didn't even know who he was. Whenever he got matched against Jack Grant, whenever he first won the title, I hadn't a clue who he was. I thought Jack Grant was going to smash him. And then whenever they offered me and I turned it down, I kind of thought it probably won't come back to me. As I said, Paddy Pimblett was there. He was fighting in March, and I thought he'd probably be the next in line. So I just didn't. And he's with IFM. I'm managed by IFM as well. So I don't think I'd be matched against him. So I was kind of thinking, oh, this might have just escaped me this year, title fight. But so I hadn't really been like thinking about him until they actually told me, right, you're the next in line, you're going to be fighting him. But it didn't really matter anyway. Like it's kind of there's only so much you can prepare for one person. Do you know what I mean? There's only so much you can think about him. You kind of watch his fights, you see what he's good at, what he's not good at, and then you implement the strategy, and then you stick with that throughout the camp.
Have you sort of tailored the training towards him a little bit then, like you're saying, like watching? I said you sort of hinted like you're watching his tapes a little bit. Or?
Well, I've probably watched 3 minutes of the Jack Grant fight and 2.5 minutes of the Desmond fight. The coaches have watched way more. I kind of get a flavor of what they're going to do, just so I know what to roughly expect when I'm in there. But my style kind of just stays the same. Like I go out, I put pressure on boys, and I throw everything at them on the feet, and they'll just try and take me down. And, I'll either submit them or I'll just keep rinsing and repeating. And I haven't strayed away from that game plan from my amateur days. Do you know what I mean? So, and I look at him and I don't think I don't need to change my game plan. He just needs to. I'm just going to go out and do the same thing, and do it the best I've ever done it before. and I can't not be victorious. Do you know what I mean? Like, so and like I said, it's my coaches who watch the fights, and they kind of suggest different things, not different like, oh, take him down or whatever like that. You know, it's kind of like different tendencies that he has, different things that he does, just to watch out for. You know, but ultimately, I'm going to go in there and
Yeah.
I'm just going to react to
Do they
whatever
sort
I
of
see.
do they structure your training like, according to that then?
No, not really. Like I mean, like I've made the mistake before in previous camps of like, say I was fighting like a striker, and um, well, actually for the Mason Jones fight, I was meant to be fighting on the same show. I was meant to be fighting a guy who had no stand up whatsoever, like a 5'6" wrestler.
Hmm.
So all the through camp, like I was just kind of dilly dallying. I wasn't even worried about the fight. You know, I was just kind of training away. You know, just like not like I didn't really care about it because I thought I could actually beat this guy in his sleep. And in wrestling classes, I wasn't shooting in on anybody. I was just letting everybody just shoot in at me. So like wrestling classes weren't even hard.
What
To
like
just like,
practicing your wrestling defense for it?
yeah, wrestling defense for me is just so easy. Like I could just do it all day with my eyes closed. I honestly, it isn't. If I have to start, like it's different whenever you're mixing it up and you're entering the scrambles and stuff from like offensive takedowns and or counter like. But for me, just wrestling defense is pretty easy. So
Yeah.
um, I'm not really pushing myself. And then all of a sudden, 6 days out, you're fighting Mason Jones, and you're like, I am not like I need to be way fitter than this. I need to be offensive wrestling, defensive wrestling.
I think he has a bit of a taekwondo background, doesn't he? Like,
Yeah, but it's just the style matchup that I like. I don't think that I'd be on the feet the whole time. I knew that if I was going
yeah,
against Mason Jones, I'd be wanting to take him down as well as striking. But like I just wasn't prepared for that. Like and then add on an extra 2 rounds. So that was like a massive mistake that I made. Is just like focusing in on one person, especially when that person is shite and I don't think would challenge me. Because do you imagine studying for your 11 plus right now? You'd be like, or 11 plus is like something you're doing when you're 11 years old. Like, I need to study for that. It's easy. Whereas if you're studying levels or a university exam, you're like, Jesus Christ, I need to study hard here.
yeah,
So the harder part of the challenge, the harder your training camp. And that just wasn't the case. So now, like, I like in my camp, I think Aggie's probably going to start trying to take me down, but I don't care. I'm practicing everything. Like my wrestling sessions are just very intense now. I'm looking to shoot takedowns on people, entering into different scrambles. In striking, I'm fighting southpaws, I'm fighting orthodox, fighting on the back foot, fighting on the front foot. I'm just prepared for anyone really
mm.
because anything can happen. I could be fighting a wrestler, I could be fighting an elite striker. It doesn't matter. I'll just be come fighting it. I'll be ready for whoever it is, and kind of that's the best approach. So I don't really structure my training in any particular way. Just train everything, and have a kind of in the back of your mind have an idea of what your opponent's going to do, just so you can kind of look out for things in sparring and hopefully you react the best way in the fight.
yeah. It's like it's funny you say about your like you're quite varied in your style, but I feel like in a lot of your fights, the commentary always seems to sort of class you with just being a bit of a brawler, if you know what I mean. Would you
Yeah,
say that's like a fair assessment of your fighting style or not?
I actually don't like that. People think that I'm a brawler because I spend so much time on my striking technique. I'm anything but a brawler.
Yeah,
Like I don't know why they would say that because all my fights are like some of my fights are quite back and forth. Um, you know, I just like looking back at my fights. There was the Sean Carter fight. I don't know if you've ever seen the Sean Carter fight, but that could be considered a brawl because Sean Carter just took about a million punches to the head and was bloodied up. Like, but he wasn't hitting me. It was just because I was on the back foot moving about. It looked
maybe
like
it's
it
just
was like a
maybe it's just hyping up the fight, then saying, "Oh, he's a yeah, get ready for action," that sort of thing, just hyping up the fight.
maybe. I think because I've been in exciting fights, back and forth fights on the feet, then that's probably the best thing to say. He's a brawler, but I'm anything but. I'm a technician on the feet. Um, and I use my range really well. And I have a good fight IQ. And like, I mean, I just don't think anyone like a brawler for someone who's just, I don't know, doesn't really give a shit and just goes out and throws shots for the sake of throwing shots. But I don't. I don't throw big combos. I'm all about like jabs, single shots, big power shots, and you know, fighting with a good strategy, a smart strategy. And but I suppose whenever you do get into wars here and there, then people do put that label of a brawler on you. But for this fight, I certainly won't be a brawler. I'll be like I'll be a technician and aggressive. See, whenever you're marching people down on the front foot, sometimes people that you would be called a brawler, but no, I'm marching people down, putting pressure on them with technique, and that's exactly what I'm going this fight.
Yeah, obviously got a few submissions on your record as well. Then, like obviously most recent, the Darth joke over Robbie Scott.
Yes. Yeah, the Darth choke, like uh, a Darth choke was one of the first moves I ever learned, and this kind of stuck with me. It's something I can do so well. It's hard. It's really hard to explain. Like like I don't know. You've done jiu-jitsu yourself, so it's just like a move. And there's like different nuances to that move that I can't even explain, but I just can get it. And like if I tried to explain it to someone, I can never explain it as well as I can do it. And if I try, it's all from one side as well. And if I try and go to the other side, like I understand the basics of the mechanics of the technique, but I just can't do it the same way. It's like it's whenever I'm on a certain side, if there's and I attack it. But in previous bouts, I've kind of just tried to go for it straight away, and like I've telegraphed it, and people have got out. But I need to I've learned how to set it up differently, and that's I've actually got, so I've had two Darce chokes, and then I've a guillotine choke and a rear naked choke. So I think I've got 4 submissions. But yeah, like I started out in my amateur career as like I didn't know how to strike. It was all just like get my opponent down to the ground and hit them with jiu-jitsu. But now it's like my game is up evolved, and I'm very much I don't take people down, but I counter off their takedowns, and they fail their takedowns, and I end up on top, and I've got good top pressure with good submissions from top as well. So expect that like I would say I'm a good all-round fighter. It's just that my preference would be to stand up.
Yeah, nuances in what way do you mean? As in like is that how you get to that position, or
Not
as
how
in
I
like
get
as in finishing it?
finishing it. There's wee things I do with my wrist, and I can't explain it. I've tried to explain it so many times, but I'm like flexing my wrist in a way that's like just making it the choke that much more tighter. And then there's like different so that's just like finishing it on someone who's got a really thick neck that has like said, oh, I can't be Darce. And I was like, well, okay, I'll Darce you. But then there's also like different counters I do to like I understand the chain of escapes, and I understand how to beat my opponent to the next chain in that escape. And like against Robbie Scott, he actually escaped the right way. So whenever I put the choke in, the opponent should like actually like reach their hand up and try and put their back to the mat. But if I beat them to that just with a simple, I'll put my head and shoulder on the mat, and that actually prevents them from putting their back fully on the mat, then they can't do the escape, and I just finish them from there. Whereas if I just just kept in the standard position, then he would have put his back on the mat and escaped. And like that's only like step one of the counters. Like there's so many different counters along that and like I have answers for all of them. So if
you must be you must be like fairly confident in your striking as well. Like you said, you called yourself like a technician earlier, but like it wasn't like in the Kieran Lister fight. As soon as you left the clinch, obviously that's when you got the finish.
Yeah, no, like I definitely like my preference. Like I definitely consider myself a striker. Like I have skills in all the different aspects of MMA. Like I've got wrestling, I've got jiu-jitsu, I've got boxing, and I've got Muay Thai. But I definitely prefer the striking arts. And yeah, it's just about like I mean for the Kieran Lister fight, he was a southpaw. I actually am a lot of people switch between orthodox and southpaw, and they're doing it because they might have seen or watched one of their favorite fighters doing it. But I don't think they fully understand what they're doing, both offensively and defensively. So if I if I move into southpaw, I know that, like, that's not my normal stance, but I have certain techniques. I have like a tool set that I'll use for when I'm in southpaw. Um, and likewise, because I know those like kind of differences between the two stances, I understand the differences whenever my opponent's in southpaw versus orthodox. And for some reason, I just prefer whenever my opponent is in southpaw, I my tools are very, very good. Probably better. I probably find myself doing better against a southpaw than doing orthodox, and that was the first southpaw I've ever faced. And you can see the results. Like, it's just kind
Why
of,
is that, do you think?
yeah, it's just it's I don't know. I feel more comfortable. They pose different threats.
Yeah.
An orthodox fighter, I have to look out for different things, than someone standing in the southpaw.
Was
But
that
with,
something you trained a lot for? 'Cause did you not, did you like, no, obviously knew he was a southpaw coming into it.
well, no, I have guys. I have, like, there's really good strikers that I train with. Um, but for that camp, I actually did bring in a couple of good guys. Like, there's a guy, Sean McComb. He's probably one of the best boxers at 66 kilos in the UK at the moment. He's southpaw, and
Yeah.
so I was training with him. And then Gareth Smiley, who's one of the best 66 kilo Muay Thai fighters in the UK, and he fights southpaw. So I was just sparring those guys, and so you kind of get. But I do, like, I would spar a lot with. So there's loads of other southpaws at our gym. It's quite a lot of southpaws. So I'm just kind of used. I'm just used to it, and as I say, I feel more comfortable facing someone when I'm in the southpaw stance. And I think that kind of transferred into the actual fight when, I was not more aggressive, but I was kind of more clinical with my shots. And I don't know if that's just because I was just in the zone, or because he was just southpaw, and I was just kind of, well, being here, like, these are my favorite shots. I think the results challenge someone who switches between orthodox and southpaw. I've got tools for that as well, so that should be good. I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah. Now, like, sound like I'm sucking up to you a little bit, but I feel like your record can be like a little bit deceiving because obviously, like, being 7-3, but
Mhm.
I feel like your losses have only sort of come from some of like the very best guys like Mason Jones, Jai Herbert. It's some, I've certainly got like a few losses, but they're, from some of the best, if you know what I mean. Obviously,
Yeah,
there's some
yeah,
like some great wins as well. Obviously, Peter Queeley, who's obviously now fighting in Bellator, and obviously put a good record together, is what I'm trying to say.
yeah. Like, it's important to have a good record because that's kind of primarily what the UFC are looking for. They want guys with good records. Because I think a record shows that you can win. But my record is, as you say, it's a bit deceiving because you'd think that, fuck, well, he can win sometimes, but he loses. But I just haven't. I've lost against good guys. Um, it annoys me a bit, like, but what can you do? I've won. I've some good wins in my record. Um, I've never fought anyone with a losing record. I've always fought the best guys. We've fought across multiple, like, the welterweight and light. I actually haven't lost at welterweight. I think I've 3 wins at welterweight at pro. Um, and yeah, like, I mean, the first one was the Arnold Querrell loss. Like, that was my third fight, and the guy that was his 20th fight, and he was class French boxer. And it was very, very, very close fight. It was a razor close split decision. Every single judge had it scored it completely differently. And I actually thought that I won the fight, even
Like I
though I
said,
was one.
like not like I said, no one with a losing record, though, if you know what I mean. Like,
No, nobody had a losing record.
yeah,
Like, they're all. Worst guy was 12-5. Do you know what I mean? And that was like I fought so many undefeated guys as well. So I think if someone was to look solely at my record, they would think he's okay. But I think if you look a bit deeper, I'm actually tested, very experienced. I've been in there with tough guys. So, and, like, I like, it's hard to explain, but I just think that, my I have a different my 7-3 record is a lot different than another 7-3 record. I've got to, if I was facing a guy in the UFC, I wouldn't feel out of my depths. I would feel like, well, I've fought tough guys before, fought really good guys before, I've beaten really good guys before. So yeah, I feel like I've definitely gained a lot of experience by fighting those tough guys. And I wouldn't be at the level I'm at without having faced those guys, both mentally and physically. So, it annoys me that I've got losses, but at the end of the day, what can you do? It is what it is. And I'm here, I'm fighting for the Cage Warriors title, and that's all that matters.
You mentioned the UFC there. Is that your goal then, to get to the UFC?
My goal is to get that Cage Warriors title. That's the only goal I have. Whatever happens after that happens. C'est la vie. I don't really, I'm not, like, for me, getting that Cage Warriors belt, and I think that's a reflection of how important that belt is for European fighters. It's like the golden ticket to the UFC, but so, like, if you get the belt, like, you're on that path to get into the UFC. But I'm not even looking that far ahead. It's like tunnel vision just here on this fight and getting this belt. It would mean the world to me, and so that's all I'm looking at.
You've been completely set on that title for a while then?
Yeah, well, 100%. I lived out in New Zealand for a year when I was about 3 years ago, and I really enjoyed it. Like, I could have stayed out there, but I came back to get that title. I came back to train with my team to compete and ultimately to get to that Cage Warriors title. It's, I don't know, like, I wouldn't, like, if Bellator came and offered me, 50 grand to fight, don't take the title fight, come fight here in Bellator, 50 grand, I'd be like, no chance. I'll stick with Cage Warriors.
Yeah.
We fight nice guys in Cage Warriors as well. And every fight is a tough fight. It's within Europe, outside of the UFC, it's the ultimate proving ground. And to get in probably one of the toughest divisions there is in Cage Warriors, it would just be it would just be amazing.
What are you doing in New Zealand, if you don't mind me asking?
Just travelled about, me and my wife, and I trained a bit of jiu-jitsu.
Obviously got married last year, didn't you? Congratulations.
Yeah. But yeah, New Zealand was just like about traveling and living somewhere else, like, and doing something different. I'd worked in a bank for all my life, pretty much, and like, I worked in a coffee shop as a barista.
Yeah,
which was good. I just really enjoyed it. And then we
I've done a bit of that, mate. Bit of waitering before.
Oh, that's brutal.
Yeah.
And it's funny, like that, like, like, the Irish humor is like, you kind of slag people off, and I was always slagging people off, but Kiwis, like, meal Kiwis, oh, they don't have any sense of humor. The amount of times I had to apologize, but like, oh, it's just Irish humor, so bad. But yeah, no, it was like it was a great time. But as I said, like, even though I was having an amazing time, and you had to come back, and like, I couldn't finish MMA without getting that belt. And the fact that I've kind of worked hard with both sport guys since came back, had ups and downs, but I've kind of stuck with it and put in the work, and now I'm getting my rewards here to fight for this belt, and I'm going to come out with the belt around my shoulder.
Yeah, you said about that Irish humor, but I don't think of you being as a guy who's like known for his trash talking, if you know what I mean.
Well, you don't think I'm known for my trash talk?
Oh no, I don't really see you on Twitter that much or out like that. Or
no, because I'm not
like
really
calling people out loads or anything like that. I feel like you're fairly quiet. Though.
I used to when I was younger, but I don't anymore. I don't have time to do it. And I've had some, like, exchanges with fighters on Twitter, and I'm just like, jeez, it drains all your energy. Like, like for other people, it might be like a bit of like fun or a bit of crack, but geez, I'm just like, no, I can't.
Do you think you are like, you sound quite surprised when I said that? Like,
no, like, I'm not. I'm just like, I'm not afraid. Like, I have told people out before, like, Like, I'm not afraid to call somebody out if I want to fight them. Like, and I'm not afraid to call out tough guys either. Um, but like I wouldn't be talking trash. Yeah, no, like so.
Yeah.
But I suppose I just don't really have much of a presence on social media because I just don't have enough time in the day to be honest. To be honest with you, probably to my detriment. I probably should be on it more, promoting myself. But sure, there's only so much you can do in the day, isn't there?
Mm.
Yeah,
I feel that's where
my
a lot
job.
of it takes place these days on social media. Like, it's a lot of ways like fighters use like hype up fights and stuff like that
Yeah,
in it.
just put on a good fight. That's what I mean. I think people are excited to see this fight, and I'm not on Twitter or Instagram blowing it up. It's just I think they're excited to see it because they know it's going to be, they've got two good fighters who put it on the line every time. So, well, one of them does anyway. So yeah, it'll be a good fight.
What do you think of Agi Sadari coming into this fight? I hope I pronounced his name right. I feel like I might have got that wrong.
I think that's how to pronounce it, Agi Sadari.
Yeah. How do you feel about him coming into it?
He's a good fighter. I think that he's gonna have to commit like I've got a good style to beat him. I know I'll beat him. I think he likes the steal rounds and just to do enough to get the win, and that's sufficient for him. And
Obviously,
that's fair enough.
two split decision wins into his championship. Like,
Yeah, like I mean, you can't really say him. The first fight, against Jack Grant. Like I mean, it was I think from what I heard, it was a back and forth fight, and it was a good fight. But I think if he's going to pick up any criticism, it's for the Donovan Desmond fight.
yeah,
Donovan's good, but Donovan took that in 6 days' notice, and Agi Sadari was happy enough to just
I
steal
can't
the
remember who the
round.
opponent was before that, but it was a late replacement, weren't he? Donovan, I think.
Yeah, Donovan. So he was meant to fight Mehdi Ben Lakhdar, and then
Yeah, that
James
was it. Yeah,
Donovan Desmond, two strikers, so it wasn't that difficult of he didn't need to change his game plan. But
yeah.
he didn't like he should have done more as a champion with the full camp, like instead of just stealing the rounds and someone who's only 6 days to prepare for the fight. I think Aggie will keep himself out of danger, if he can. But I don't think he's going to be able to for against me. I think he's gonna be put in danger quite a bit, and hopefully brings with him the best version that he's ever shown. We can put on a good fight. I know.
You
I
look
know. I'm
into
there.
it. You're looking to push the pace, then, innit?
Yeah, I always do. Always looking to push the pace. And yeah, just to put it on him.
Yeah.
Don't give him an opportunity to steal any runs. And that's kind of that's what I do with everything. It's no different. It's like it's really no different to me. I'd be going in there against any of the other guys in the lightweight division, and it's kind of the same attitude, the same style, the same mentality. It's just put pressure on them.
Always trying to get the finish where you can.
Yeah, but
Not stealing rounds, like you say.
no, not stealing rounds. Like like of course, yes. Like I've been in positions before where I've needed take down here at the end of the round, cement the round. You can like if I understand that that's part of the game as well. And like I've done it before, but I just think as a champion, you have like a responsibility to put on a good fight and to put your opponents away, especially when they're coming in 6 days notice. But he didn't do that. But like so, but everyone can have off days, So I don't look too much into it. I just think that I'm treating it as this version of Aggie is going to be the best that he's ever displayed in Cage Warriors. So and that's what I'm excited about.
Yeah, I feel like you didn't do too badly. Obviously, you did get that last year, but obviously with everything that was going on last year, you obviously got two fights in, which ain't too bad considered everything that was going down last year.
Like I mean, I've been busy. I fought when I've had the fight, not had the fight. Sorry, like when I've had time to actually train and prepare. But I've always been in the gym. Like I haven't been like taking time like long periods away from the gym. It's just that I really won't. At this stage, I don't want to commit to a fight if I can't. Sorry, I don't want to take on a fight if I can't fully commit to the training camp. At this level, you just need to be firing on all cylinders. Every opponent from here on out is going to be top level, and you need to be fully prepared for that. So you have to commit to full camp, and people thinking, well, what do you mean commit to full? You always commit to full camp. Well, that is true, but there's different levels to it, and I'm 34 years of age, and I have a full time job, and to get 2 sessions in a day,
Yeah.
hard session, and preparing for a 5-round fight, it takes a lot of commitment. There's other things going on in my life as well, so it's kind of just to I have to put everything on pause for these fights, and that's what I've done this time. I'm going to leave no stone unturned in this training camp. It's tough, but I know that the outcome of it's going to be I'm going to be in the best shape of my life.
Yeah. I'm not sure what the rules are like in Ireland at the minute, because I know like some of the smaller promotions have to like cancel race now. Like Clan Wars, Cage Legacy had to cancel earlier this year, didn't they?
Yeah, they have, but it's all starting to open up now. I mean, go in the restaurants and bars now. Gyms are open. Me started playing.
Over here, you can sit in like restaurants and stuff again now. Finally,
yeah.
As of last week, I think it was. I'm not quite sure.
Yeah, this I don't know. It's hard to actually keep up, but people are allowed to train in the gym from last week, which is great. So I would say we're not too far away from MMA shows kicking things off again. I know that they had Clan Wars and everything. Cage Legacy, like they were trying to run events, and then some of them they were able to do, and then others had to be cancelled.
Yeah, that was March. I think it was cancelled, weren't they?
Pardon?
I think it was March. They originally had a like date set for both of those promotions that were cancelled.
And I think actually it might have been. I'm actually not sure now. It's hard to keep track, but yeah, I think the Clan Wars there's a couple of times it was cancelled, and same with Cage Legacy. But yeah, I know that my club, they run a show, Cage Conflict. I think they're going to be holding a show in August time. So, and my coaches they stepped away from it completely because they understood the risks. But now the fact that I can see them committing to running on a show, that tells me that okay, like things are definitely picking back up again, and it seems like almost certain that the show is going to be able to go ahead without any issues. So definitely Clan Wars and Cage Legacy and all those other good shows in Ireland, they'll be setting up again.
Yeah, hopefully it's the last lockdown we have to go through. Like,
what is it?
So hopefully it's the last lockdown we have to go through. Like,
no, Jesus Christ, I can't do another one. I can't say it, like with everybody vaccinated. I can't see that.
Yeah,
I just understand they're saying about like
sick of it, mate. Sick of it.
Yeah, no, but like I don't understand. Why aren't this like all these people that are in hospital or any of these deaths that are happening or all these cases of COVID? Why aren't they giving us like a statistic that says that 3,000 people have just got COVID yesterday, and like 20 of them had the vaccine? They're not telling us how many people had the vaccine, so I'm assuming that none of them like anyone who has the vaccine hasn't contracted COVID. But I would just love to know, but they just aren't saying that.
Yeah.
Thinking about like 70% of all adults have been vaccinated, so I'm like, how many more people can get vaccinated? Like, how many more people can get COVID then? The majority of the people have vaccination. It's so confusing.
Yeah. Let's see how it goes. Have you been training with Paul Hughes much coming up to this one?
Yeah, I training flat out with Paul Hughes. He's like one of my main training partners. He's it's a shame he should have been fighting for the title, but obviously they needed to run that rematch with Shapa and Jordan Buchanek. So he's sitting this one out as he should, as the number one contender, and he'll fight the winner in September, I believe, or later on in the year. I'm pretty sure September. But yeah, he's the number one contender. He has to fight the winner. Yeah. So I
was expecting him to get that fight, like especially obviously with Jordan calling him out after like his victory. I was like, I'm surprised when that didn't happen.
I think it's the French. They've strong armed their boy into another title shot, and it's fair enough. It was, but obviously I'm biased because I won't Paul to fight for the title. But I can understand why they've given the rematch, and it was a good fight. So
Yeah.
I don't mention it again. I think Paul beats them both. I think he already has beaten Jordan, and I most certainly think he beats Shabba. In fact, I would go as far as to
It
say
was
is
a it
he'd
was a good
also,
win for him as well over James Hendon, wasn't it?
yeah,
In March
James,
as well. Yeah, he had a
yeah.
yeah,
I go as
good
far as
fighter.
to say that Paul will fight probably both Shabba and Shenik in the next year, and I think he'll finish them both,
Yeah,
especially if it's over 5 rounds.
yeah. You do a lot, obviously do a lot of sparring together and like
Yeah, too much sparring.
yeah,
Yeah, sparring all the time. Like he's like we sparred last time we sparred was on Tuesday. We're doing what we call doghouse, and it's basically I'm in the middle for 5 rounds, 5 5s, and I have a fresh man coming in each round. But this time I had Garrett Smiley, who, as I said, is like one of the best 66 kilo Muay Thai fighters in the UK. Oh, he's
yeah.
just frighteningly good. And then Paul, so Garrett was going, and then Garrett was stepping out. Paul was coming in. Garrett was getting the 5 minute rest, and then coming in the third round. And then after that, Paul was getting the rest, and then coming in. So it was just
Sounds brutal, like
it's absolutely brutal. The best guys are taking
yeah,
turns on you. Like, but then that readies you for the fight, not just physically but mentally, because in a doghouse you're not meant to win the rounds. Like it's
yeah.
just you're being these guys are coming in fresh and they're coming in 100%. It's very difficult to win the rounds, but you win in your preparation, in particular your mental preparation, your physical sharpness, everything.
So he's
So
just trying to like to weigh you down to push you to that point, isn't it? To like
yeah,
before the fight.
exactly. Yeah, exactly. Because fights are always tough. It's hard to replicate a fight in sparring. Obviously, you're in sparring, you're throwing kicks, punches, knees, not knees, but like, you're able to throw everything, you're working hard, but it's hard to actually replicate it when the adrenaline's there and the crowd and that just tires you out and you're going 100% in the fight. But I think for me anyway, the closest thing you get to that fight is the doghouse, just having those fresh people come in. And then I'm able to go with Paul and Garrett like that. Like what's Aggie going to be able to do? He's only on it. He's not going to be able to step out for a fresh 5 minutes. He's
Yeah.
in there for 25 minutes. Jesus, like, tough, for him. So that's that's how I view it anyway. He's getting no pressure and he's going to be 25 minutes straight.
Yeah. Do you not reckon much to what like Max Holloway and that was saying before then about not sparring coming up to at all in
Yeah,
training?
they are like he is sparring. He's just like what they call like flow spar or like cha-cha or whatever it's called. And that's fair enough. That works for some people, but um, and I actually don't like sparring that much. It's just that coming up close to the fight, I like to get sparring in. It kind of readies me mentally and physically for the fight. But outside of camps, I don't really spar that much at all. Just because I'm conscious of the effects that it has in your brain. Um, so I kind of limit it when I'm not fighting. But when it comes to fight time, it's part of my process that I need to get ready for the fight, and I'm happily going through it. I would never not do it. So, but like for the Kieran Lister fight, I think I only sparred 3 times because I had on 2 separate occasions I got really bad cuts above my eye, and so like I couldn't really spar that often, and like I still walked in there and I still felt sharp and ready to go.
Yeah.
If I couldn't spar, like it's not the end of the world. Like I still know how to fight.
You obviously
But
don't
if
want
we
that
can't,
opening up again in the fight because yeah,
no, well, we can't. Like if I like it was like a Y cut on my eye, and
yeah,
that was the second one, and that was like 3 weeks out. So I couldn't like have any real contact for the next couple of weeks, and then you're in your weight cut week. So like from 3 weeks out, I wasn't able to spar or like have much contact sport or like contact training. And then before that, like I was at the start of the camp, I cut my left eye. So again, there's like only like a window of like 3 weeks where I was able to spar. Um, and again, that's fine. I think that's part of the course because every camp you have an injury, but it doesn't matter because there's so many different things you can do to keep your body taking over, swimming, and different like running. Like every kind of injury is an opportunity to train for all that part. That you probably wouldn't have time to train if you weren't injured.
yeah. One final thing, mate. How do you see the fight going? Title fight going next month?
I don't make predictions, but I just see too hard. I'm feeling too good to not win this fight. And all I can see is just me walking away with the belt. Um, and I'm confident about that. It doesn't matter how I get there, whether it's a decision, a knockout, a submission. Um, I'm ready for it all. Like I said, I'm ready for that 25 minutes, like of an absolute war, if it needs to be. Um, but I'm going to for the finish as well. So whatever happens, happens. I just know that I'm going to walk away with the belt wrap on my waist, wrap on. I can't even say that. I'm just going to walk away with it.
Yeah. Nah. Best of luck to you, mate. I'm looking forward to it. Like,
Cheers, thank you, Joe. I really appreciate the time. Okay, it was great.
yeah. Nah, I really appreciate you coming on, mate. It was a good chat. Like,
He's right here. Take it easy, Joe. See you later.
yeah. You too, mate. Hope
All right,
hope the house comes along all right.
right. Cheers. Thanks. See you later.